Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. My name is Ashu and in today's video we will be talking about IELTS, right? So जब आप अपनी जर्नी स्टार्ट करते हैं कि आपको अब कनाडा जाना है फॉर योर स्टडीज़ और फॉर योर PR व्हाटएवर, तो आप IELTS का पेपर देते हैं बिकॉज इट इज़ एन इंग्लिश प्रोफिशिएंसी टेस्ट जो कि हर एक नॉन नेटिव स्पीकर को देना होता है. इन दिस वीडियो आई विल बी टॉकिंग अबाउट हाउ आई स्कोर्ड 7.5 बैंड्स इन माई IELTS by just preparing within 2 weeks, right? So 2 weeks में I prepared for my IELTS and I got 7.5 bands, right? So पहले I'll just give you an overview and then I'll just talk about my process that I used, right? So pehla IELTS. So what is IELTS? Now IELTS is an English proficiency test that is conducted by IDP in India, right? And it is for basically non-native speaker. Now it is used by universities, college and even organization to assess whether proficiency in English language, or you can say it is done to assess the English language ability of the potential candidates or students or migrants who are coming about detailed overview of IELTS, what is IELTS, how to prepare for it and what is the test about. का test is conducted in 2 parts. एक part में आपका रीडिंग लिसनिंग राइटिंग होता है, ठीक है. सो IELTS इज अ 2 hour टेस्ट. लिसनिंग सेक्शन क्या होता है उसके अंदर दे चेक योर एबिलिटी वेदर यू आर एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड दी स्पोकन इंग्लिश इन डिफरेंट डायलेक्ट्स, डिफरेंट स्पीच एंड स्पीड, राइट. तो कभी स्लो कभी तेज, राइट. डिफरेंट डायलेक्ट्स में कैसे होता है. मोस्टली दे से कि ब्रिटिश एक्सेंट में होती है, बट आई फाइंड दे डिफरेंशिएट मच इन ब्रिटिश और अमेरिकन, बट ऑल इन ऑल सो बेसिकली दे गिव यू वेरियस रिकॉर्डिंग्स ऑफ लेक्चर, कन्वर्सेशन, न्यूज़ ब्रॉडकास्ट एंड देन यू आर आस्क्ड क्वेश्चन अबाउट रीडिंग सेक्शन. सो रीडिंग सेक्शन में वो टेस्ट करते हैं कि आप जो इंग्लिश लिखी हुई है उसको अंडरस्टैंड कर पा रहे हैं थ्रू अकेडमिक आर्टिकल्स. सो काफ़ी सारे आर्टिकल्स होते हैं. इट कैन बी अबाउट एनीथिंग, न्यूक्लियर बॉम्ब्स, पोटैटो, सेस ऑल्सो भी, सेस भी हो सकता है, कोई स्टोरी भी हो सकती है. एंड उसको रीड करके आपको क्वेश्चन आंसर करने होते हैं जो दिए होते हैं. देन राइटिंग में आता है. राइटिंग में 2 टास्क होते हैं, टास्क 1 एंड टास्क 2. सो उसके अंदर अगेन यू आर गिवन अ एसे टू राइट एंड यू आर गिवन अ diagram, graph or pie chart, and then you have to describe it in your own language. And then finally speaking में they check that how effectively and fluently you are able to talk. उसके अंदर the focus is not on your accent but how quickly you are able to answer what is being asked to you. मैं जिसका बात करूँगा दैट विल बी लिसनिंग. सो जो मैंने एग्ज़ाम बुक किया था तो मेरा जो फर्स्ट एग्ज़ाम हुआ था दैट वाज ऑफ लिसनिंग. एंड लिसनिंग मेरा 1 week पहले था. ऑब्वियसली आई हैड टू सेलेक्ट द डेट. देयर इज़ नथिंग लाइक कि वो अलाउड करते हैं. सो दैट वाज द केस विद मी. जब मैंने हुई थी टाइम स्लॉट था एंड आई रीच 15 minutes पहले एग्ज़ाम से. तो बेसिकली वो आपको एक रूम में लेके जाते हैं. वहाँ पे एक एग्जामिनर बैठा होता है एंड देन ही और शी विल आस्क यू क्वेश्चंस, राइट. सो ही और शी विल आस्क यू टू इंट्रोड्यूस योर सेल्फ, राइट, एंड देन you will be asked other questions and then you will be given a topic and then you have to answer on that. Now there are a lot more things that you need to prepare. First one, it is not just a speaking test जिसमें वो देखते हैं कि आप बोल पा रहे हैं नहीं. It is much more than that. Your band score will depend upon how easily you are able to converse, the kind of vocabulary you are using and how much command you have over the language. So this is they check in your English speaking test. Now how can you improve your speak? Start practicing speaking as much as you can. So even if you're talking to your friends or family, try to speak with them in English. Be it slow, fast, doesn't matter. Try to talk with them, and once you get familiarized with the speaking part, then start to inculcate different vocabularies, right? Hence your speaking as well. Start listening English songs, right? Start watching English movies and start watching BBC as well. So there are 3 parts in the English listening test also. One would be there's a general question about you, your family, your work, your interest, which is just 4 to 5 minute conversation. And then they have individual long term conversations, like you are given a card, you're given a topic, and then you have to talk about that particular topic for a minute or 2. So in that they will cross question you as well. So there they will be checking how easily you are able to talk, how confident you are. Then describe for example they will be talking about describe a teacher who had a great influence on you. Then you have to talk about them. So I would suggest that whatever topic you are given, start writing. You will be given a pen and pencil. Start writing the key points that you will be answering, right? Make a flow chart, like key teacher, name of the teacher, then start talking about the subject that he or she used to teach you. Then make a good you can make a good story also, if you remember something like that. So as the more you are able to speak and the more fluently and effectively you are able to speak, the better it is for you. And finally, then there will be a two-way conversation where they will ask you one or two questions, and then you have to answer accordingly. So I would suggest that start talking in front of the mirror, and start talking by looking at the camera and recording yourself, so that when you listen the recordings, you will know which are the parts you need to cover, where you are stuttering means you are taking gaps, right? When you start doing this is what I mean. Okay, then your next topic comes is reading. After your speaking exam, you will have your listening, reading and writing. The reading exam, you will be given 2 to 3 paragraphs, right? Some I think 1 or 2 is easy, but one is really difficult. So in that, you have to read the paragraph and mark the important things, and then you have to answer question on based on that. So for that, I would suggest start reading books or newspaper daily, and start taking and practicing mock test as much as you can, right? Read about different books, different journal, different magazine, to different topics in the newspaper, right? You will be asked multiple questions, right? There will be MCQ. You have to identify information, then there will be matching figures, matching heading, right? Feature, then completion of sentence, summary note, labeling of diagram, and maybe a diagram and a paragraph would be given, and then you have to complete the process. So all these things will be coming. So one way would be that one way with which you can improve your reading would be skim through the paragraph, right? Start marking important lines while reading in the exam. Pay attention to introduction and conclusion. Identify the key words that you are finding in the topic, in the diagram, that will help you to answer the questions, like the heading of the paragraph, right? Then read all questions from beginning to ending, and read the instructions as well. That is the most important thing. So for reading, just read newspaper and try to practice as much as you can through mock. Now next one is your listening. So the listening headphone, and then they will start playing the audio. So now be careful that audio will be only played once, so make sure you listen the audio really carefully and answer. So as soon as you're given the sheet of the paper, start reading the questions properly. Okay, then listen to the audio, and as they are talking, try to find the keywords and answer. That is the only way you can get good band in that. So for listening, what you can do is you can start listening to various music, right? I think it's the most enjoyable way, and that will help you. And because in the listening they will use different speech, different dialect sometime, and different speed of speech. So you need to make sure that you are practicing listening by watching movies and other. Now in listening, there is, for example, there will be conversation between two people. For example, the one is making a hotel reservation, and you have to fill the questions gap, and in the next section you will hear someone talking about some particular topic, and then in section 3 there will be person discussing some topic, right? And it can be a lecture also, or a professor delivering a lecture. So make sure you get a proper look at the questions and answer properly, right? Now there will be different questions in the listening part. One will be your labeling, sentence completion, short answer, matching, multiple choice questions. It is important that you make you know the type of question that you are answering and what you need to look for, and that will only come after you have done your mock. Be careful of spelling. Now this is one very important thing in listening, that you need to be very careful of the spelling. So for example, you have written the word correctly. For example, business, right? For example, some people write business as BUSSINESS, right? And some write BUSINESS. So you need to know the correct spelling of business is with single S, right? So that is really important. So the spelling makes a big role in that, right? Then for example, if they are if they are saying that $20, so you just can't write 20 there. You need to make a dollar sign. If dollar sign is already present, then if you again make a dollar sign 20, then that will also be incorrect. So these things you need to be careful, right? then capital letters, right? If I would suggest that you answer only in capital letters, that way it is much easier. Suppose you are writing India and then you write INDIA and the I is not capital but it is small, and that is also incorrect, right? So you need to know where to write capital, where to put punctuations and commas. That also plays a big role. Section. So now writing section is very important section, right? It is in two part. So now writing will at least take 60 minutes of yours, and there are two tasks in writing, right? One is about where you to describe something, and the next task is about where you have to write on a particular topic. Now it is a 60-minute task. So task one is fairly easy. It should not take more than 20 minutes, and you can write in at least 150 words. Don't make it more than 200 words. For task 2 you can take 40 minutes, I would say, and write in not more than 250 words, right? So what is task 1? So task 1, you have to explain or describe the information like graph, table, chart, right? You have to data is given to you, and you have to organize in and present in a proper way. If you're some diagram that is given, for example, in my test there was a engine there was a process that they have put it how from raw material to how bottles are prepared. So you need to explain. So there were 9 to 10 stages, so you have to present in such a way that you're able to explain the diagram properly, right? And then in the task 2 you have to you have to write about your point of view, or it is a problem or an argument question, so that you need to identify what kind of task it is, right? For example, if you have given a certain task with the problem, right, then what you need to do, you have to make a sample note. Like I will be writing 4 paragraphs. In first paragraph I will be giving whether what is the problem and what is the solution, right? And then you need to present justify your opinion about it, right? Like what is the why the problem occurred, right? And then your solution, and then your conclusion. Some different kind of questions. This is they are not just they are not just simple tasks. You have to identify the kind of question that is being asked to you, whether it is a solution or problem paragraph, it is an opinion paragraph, it is about an argument or challenges, or we are doing some comparison. So if you have understanding the type of question and being asked to you, then only you can answer the question properly, right? So all in all, the the IELTS exam is not very tough if you know the type of question that is being asked to you and how you need to answer. So for that you need practice. Okay, so if so what I did to score 7.5 bands in less than 2 weeks is, one, I used to read daily. I used to speak in English as much as I can wherever I can. Third, I used to practice vocab as well, because if you are writing some good words of vocab, not like heavy words but good words that are not usually written by the candidates, it will help you to give edge. Third would be that I practiced more than 10 to 15 mock tests. I could have done more, but for each module I'm talking about. So if you so that helped me to know where I am lacking. For example, in listening we know the answer, but most of the time my spellings were not correct. For example, if I'm mentioning $20, right, sometimes I used to write 20 only, dollar sign was missing, so that is also a wrong answer. Okay, then if you are not able to get your desired marks, then you can take an online course. There are multiple online courses available which you can take, and then you can practice reading daily, speaking daily, listening to English topics and stuff daily will increase your chances of getting good band. And another would be practicing mock test. So mock test and its evaluation is very important, especially in writing. Okay, so all the best, and I'll see you in Canada.